All right, guys, I'm about to join the Discord channel with FinalBearTV. I ask that you please give him your respect. Please listen to his story. For real, guys, it means a lot to me to have people come on the show and be willing to share their story, their experiences. So please be respectful. Listen to what he's got to say, and let's make this a wonderful heckin' night, boys and girls. All right, here we go. Sion Trace, what up, dude? Final Bear.
What's up, man?
Yo, all right. I'm just making sure this works. I just want everyone to be able to hear your beautiful voice.
Yeah, I sound all right.
You sound good to me, always, brother. Always. Guys, let me know in the chat if you can hear him. If not, I can work with the audio to make it louder. Just please tell me yes or no if you can hear him. Sion Trace, welcome to the stream, man. Yes, we can hear him. Excellent. Yep, they're giving us the go-ahead, FinalBearTV. First of all, thank you a very, very good amount for being willing to come on the show. I know this is not the easiest thing to do. You know, sharing a personal story or experience can be intimidating or can be difficult to do. So seriously, man, from me to you, the biggest of appreciation for coming on the show.
No problem, brother. I just hope that together we can affect other people's lives and maybe help out someone in need, because I've been that person in need. So
yeah, I think that's as we talked last night, man, the power of sharing your story. You never know who you're going to influence. You never know who is out there listening and who needs to hear what you have to say. You're absolutely right about that. So basically, I don't really have a ton of questions. I know that you reached out to me about coming on the show, so I will let you kind of talk about what it was you wanted to talk about on the show. So the floor is yours, Final Bear. We're more than happy to hear what you have to say, man.
All right, guys. First, I'm gonna thank everyone for being here, and I'm gonna just say out front, I'm not a therapist. Everything I say is just going to be my own personal opinion, my experiences, and what I've gone through.
Okay.
If you know someone who's gone through similar stuff, they could feel the same or they could feel different. So take everyone's situation as their own and don't reference it too much to other people. So I was deployed out of Japan, Yokosuka, Japan, and I spent about 3 years over there, and we would do regular South China Sea missions. Every time North Korea shoots a missile off and the news is going crazy and everyone back home is, oh, are we going to die tomorrow? Are we going to die tomorrow? That's us. You know, we get up, that's what we're doing. And we're pulling into Singapore one day. We're supposed to have a nice port visit, a nice relaxing week break after months at sea. And, we got T-boned. Our ship got T-boned by an oil tanker, a super oil tanker at sea.
So your ship was out there, and then, man, like, how did that happen? Did they just not see you? Did y'all not see them? Like, how did that situation even happen?
It's a combination, I think, of mechanical error. We lost steering, and there's protocol. If you lose steering, you're supposed to put certain lights up so everyone around you knows that you can't control where you're going. Okay. And we did that. And mind you, this is 5:02 in the morning.
Right.
We did that, and the other ship was not adequate in seamanship to know what it meant.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. So they went full speed ahead, autopilot. The ship's driving itself. We're all in a straight line pulling into the port. It's like a one lane where everyone just goes behind each other in, and they hit us. So my experience is 5:02. I'm looking at my phone. I'm in my bed, and I'm like, man, I got to get up. Today is going to be a busy day. Like, time to go shave every morning and get ready. And I hear the sounds like gunshots. Sounds like big 50 cals going off. And I immediately thought, are they shooting at someone? Like, I immediately thought like small boat attacks, some of the stuff that happened in the Middle East where they drive boats up and blow them up. So that was my first reaction.
Okay.
And you hear pop, 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 pop. And I'm like, wait, those guns aren't manned yet. We're not close enough to land for those guns to be manned. And turns out that was the rivets that the huge pieces of metal in the ship are held together by popping out one at a time.
Wow, yeah.
So those weren't gunshots.
That's heckin' terrifying.
Yeah, and so the ship comes through. And if you guys want to Google, it's USS McCain. You guys can Google the pictures so you know what I'm talking about. You can see the accident. I don't know if you want to pull that up, Nate, but so they can see.
I think I can't. Keep talking while I do that, man.
So they T-bone us, and think about a T-bone in a car. Now imagine it in a multiple 1,000-ton ship. It's something I could never imagine until I experienced it. But so I was sleeping right with my head against the wall where that ship came in, and by the grace of whatever you believe in, me and the 30 other people that were sleeping right in that hole you see in the picture when you finish pulling it up.
I got you.
That we all made it out. We made it out alive.
Let me blow it up so everybody can. Oops. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me zoom in. This is what you're talking about right here. Like this. Wow, that's a huge hole right there.
Yeah, so that hole, on the left side of that hole is my bed, and the beds are 3 stacked on top of each other.
Okay.
And my head is against that wall.
Wow, like right here.
Yeah, like right there.
Wow.
So I just happened to sleep backwards that night because it was hot. That part of Asia is hot that time of year. It's like 110 degrees outside, and the fans on our racks are at the foot. So I just slept back. That's the only night like that week I slept backwards. So I don't know.
Wow, 3
I don't know.
feet.
I don't know if you guys believe in divine blessings, man, but yeah. So.
Oh wow! So that happened, and then like what was going on the boat? I assume it was just chaos at that point.
Yeah. I got trapped. So I got trapped in my bottom rack because all the stuff, all the metal in the racks above me collapsed down on me with people in them. So there's about 500 to 600 pounds in people on top of me, on top of metal and other things. So probably like 1,000 pounds of stuff on top of me. And then I had metal blocking the outside of my rack. Couldn't get out of my bed, and there's a fuel line right above it. So it's within, I'd say, 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds. I go from hearing the popping to being underwater, submerged, not in water though, in diesel fuel.
Ooh, golly.
Yeah, since for anyone who's dealt with diesel fuel, it's much nastier than regular fuel.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
was there any fear of drowning? Like, I don't want to be like rude or anything, but like, is that?
Yeah. So I'm stuck, and I'm like, I can't get out. I can't. There's like metal in front of me. I couldn't get out. There was no hole, and I'm like choking under fuel at this point. And and when your brain realizes it's about to die, I mean, you see it in movies, and I never thought it was real. like time slows down. Like 1 second feels like
10 minutes or something.
Your entire life.
Yeah, yeah.
And my last thought was, I'm never gonna get to see my wife, but I'm never gonna get to see my wife again, my family.
Wow.
And
wow.
After the other ship accident, I promised her I would come home, and I'd be okay, and we'd get married, and and then her being away for our entire relationship the last like 4 years was worth it, because at that point I'm only seeing her once a year for like a week maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So like that was my last thought. My last thought was this poor girl is going to spend the rest of her life never be the same and probably never be happy again. That was my last thought. It wasn't about me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that just shows your character, man. Like what's important to you. That's how I interpret that.
Yeah, I think having been there, I guess you'll find out. To all of us, you'll find out what kind of person you are in your last moments, or if your brain thinks it's your last moments. Whatever's inside you is going to come out.
Sure, absolutely. But man, so obviously you survived, and thank goodness for that. How did you get out?
I kind of like blacked out at that point. I thought I was gone, and some metal shifted or something, and in a little hole, probably a foot, maybe like 12 inches wide, opened up, and I squeezed out it, man. I put my fat butt, keep it rated G for your stream. I squeezed my fat butt through a foot hole, and you would not believe I could fit through that hole when you look back at it. But you know what? I crawled out the hole. I'm still under fuel at this point. So like swim out. I'm like slicing my body up on the way out because there's just metal everywhere.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
As I'm getting out, the metal was still shifting, and then all the metal around me just fell on top of me, and on my lower, probably like right on my lower back, so where it like pinned me down, and I got stuck there, and I'm still under fuel at this point. And I mean, your body's capable of like things you wouldn't even imagine.
Oh God,
in that situation,
that stress, dude. Yeah, adrenaline, just like bam, mother truckers.
Like, yeah, and I was able to like push up enough to get out. Don't know how. Couldn't do it again.
I don't care. Hope you never have to.
Yeah. It's one of those situations you think back, and you know, I talked to therapists about it. You think back and you say, if I roll that dice, we do that situation again mathematically, like what's the how often do I come out on top? You know, like I got a horseshoe somewhere, man. But yeah, I get out, and then we lead everyone else out. We go. We lead everyone back to the center of the ship, which is the place we eat, and that's where we fight casualties from. So we're getting people out, and I go. At this point, I'm like in my underwear, no socks, no shirt on, soaked in fuel. I go back down to the other side of the living area on the other side of the ship to make sure everyone over there is okay, because I couldn't see anything at that point. I don't know how far it went through. I don't know if we're actively sinking or not. Like, so I go back down there. Like, your body doesn't feel any pain. Like,
yeah,
it's like a high I've never experienced before. And so I go back down there, and I'm getting people out, and then everyone's out. You close the hatch. You seal it off so the water don't spread, sink the rest of the ship. I don't know if you guys know, but Navy ships, every single room, every single compartment area is able to be sealed off to where if it were to take on water, you could close it off so it doesn't continue spreading. So from that, and then the rest of our guys who were healthy fought off the water, and we were able to save the ship miraculously, and training paid off, and we pulled in.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like, your ship heckin' knew what you guys were doing. The other ship, man, that sounds just like a blind duck, just like paddling around over there. I don't understand how the different caliber of training you guys had versus them is, to me, sounds pretty insane. And I can only imagine, like, if it was the other way around and, like, the other ship was hit, I don't know, they might have been just heckin' screwed.
Yeah, I mean, to put it in perspective, I'm teaching someone everything. Something you wouldn't know unless you've experienced it. But when they're going to cut the budgets, and people say, why do we spend so much on military training? We're one of the only navies that can do that with our ships. And it requires maintenance done every single week, 365 days a year. We're testing the rubber seals. We're doing stuff. There's people not sleeping, staying up for 2-3 days. With that $10 in taxes they spend, or that $1,000 million in taxes, it goes to a good place.
Yeah, and that just shows the power of, like, actually putting that money to good use, to making the best out of what could have been so many losses and the sinking of an entire ship. But you guys actually using that money for what it's supposed to be used for, coming out on top of that situation. To me, that just shows, like, priorities, man. Like, all about safety, taking care of each other. Like to me, that's like teamwork, right? Working together as a team to overcome that. You couldn't have predicted that, right? There's no way to, like, actively prepare, like, okay, in like 20 seconds, this ship is about to hit us. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. Like, that's just on the fly, teamwork, good training, good work, man. That shows the power of what a group of people are capable of accomplishing. So, my question now is, I know that you sustained a really bad arm injury, shoulder injury due to this incident. Do you want to
transition over to the medical side?
Yeah, I just thinking, going through that recovery, what exactly happened to your arm as a result of all this?
So, we'll start with physical because it's easier. Mental will be longer. But so physical injuries, I felt fine for a while, but I tore both my shoulder sockets. So my arms were basically, the tendons were no longer connecting my arm and my shoulder on both sides. I got nerve damage in my legs, probably from my lower back being crushed. I should have sent you the pictures so you could show, but I got, from my butt to my neck was purple and green, and there was, like, physically blood pooling in all of my skin from the being smashed. And I don't know, if I wasn't a thick with 5 C's kind of dude, I probably would have been paralyzed. So I sustained spine damage, and they're still working on the spine. They haven't found what they're looking for yet, so we're still waiting on that. But on top of that, my bladder, I lost control of my bladder from the incident. So for the next 2 months, I think I peed myself. Like, I couldn't control my bladder anymore.
Okay.
And as a grown man, that's extremely embarrassing. But
I can see how it is, but, like, just for sure, man. I don't want you to. Again, this is a judgment-free zone. Not here to make fun of anybody. Like, so don't you don't have to worry about telling us that, because that's just part of your story. Like, that's the struggle that you had to go through. And so just, I know you may feel embarrassed. Just reassure you, no one's making fun of you. Everyone is in your corner right now, Final Bear.
Yeah. So, and last thing with that, we're still dealing with bladder problems, but it's gotten better. At least I don't pee myself no more, so that's good.
Sure.
So dealing with the physical ailments and stuff, I mean, that's hard, and it being in physically a lot of pain and stuff. I know a lot of people deal with it. Car accidents. I know Lake Erie, part of Team Sarge, he's in a similar situation. I've talked to him, and you know, we talk about it, and it just physically going from a machine that stays up 3 days a week to complete the mission, no matter what it is, and you're mentally and physically able to do anything you put your mind to at this point, because you've been trained, and you know, people's lives are on your hand. You can do anything. And then going from that to physically, like, recently was to the point where I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't get out of bed. I went to get out of bed one morning after sitting there probably till like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon because of back spasms. Falling on the floor like the life alert lady. I mean, it's pretty funny because I was 24 at the time. Now I'm 25. Falling on the floor like the life alert lady. Like, I need a bracelet. Help! I've fallen. I can't get up. And that's how it is some days. And you know, you just deal with it, and it's very mentally repressing. I would not say depressing, but
okay. So
it holds you back.
Okay.
It holds you back because, like, I want to do things. I want to be active. And I used to be, I mean, I should have sent you a picture, but before and after, like, I was 158 pounds, man. I was in the best shape of my life. I was doing great things. I felt good. I look good. I mean, I still look good. You know, look at me. I'm beautiful.
Of course. Yeah, you're always, forever. Always.
But it really holds you back, and I feel like that a lot of mental stress comes from your physical health, and so many people use exercise as a relief, and not being able to do that anymore really sucks. I know there's some people out there in the chat that might be feeling that way too. From even injuries at work and stuff. So
I as a personal trainer, as my job, I see people when they come to see me, and I take them through an exercise routine. It really is different. The emotional, mental mindset they came into the gym with, versus when they leave the gym, having gone through a good exercise routine. I see it every day at my job, man. People come into the gym, they're upset, they don't want to be there, they're unmotivated, they hate it. And then once I'm done with them and they leave, they're always glad, that they did that. And so, what you're going through, I can absolutely understand how it would be a struggle going through something like, you're in great shape, you love doing it, and then now, with it being a struggle, that's I'm really, really sorry about that, man. I know how really rough that can be.
I appreciate it, brother. We can touch on the last of the physical injuries. So the Navy's not up to date on medical protocols, and this is kind of the worst part. Is I suffered a very bad concussion that was not treated. I didn't even go to the hospital with all of these injuries. I didn't go to the hospital for 2 weeks, a week and a half, almost 2 weeks after the accident.
Okay.
For some reason, they decided to medevac everyone else who had like bruises, and I was okay. So I sliced my leg open, my knee. Some of the people on my streams have seen the scar on my knee. It looks like I had a knee replacement. I got a scar the whole length from my kneecap all the way up to like my middle thigh and going all the way around.
Wow.
They didn't give me stitches. I put my I literally like used my own first aid training with one of my buddies, BM3 Jones. If you ever see BM3 Jones on the street, give him a shout out, because he helped me hold my leg together, and we put it back together, no stitches, packed the wound, cleaned it, put pressure on it until it clots. I mean,
right.
So,
dang, that's intense.
So I mean, long effects. There's some people asking in the chat. So the first couple, we'll talk about the mental side. The first couple nights after, man, I was hearing voices and shadows scared you, light scared you, like everything scared you. It's the most terrifying feeling in your life. When I went to sleep, I was freaking waking up screaming, like screaming, sweating, and eventually I was they diagnosed me with PTSD, but it takes by diagnosis, it takes 3 months of symptoms to not to diagnose. So they're giving me all these weird medicines. They're I'm still in Japan at this point. You know, I just miss my family. Still haven't seen my wife, my fiance at the time. Still hadn't seen her. 4 months afterwards, they finally get me out. I come back home to Chicago to get better. They sent me back here, and start receiving more medical care. But
as you should. I mean, like, come on now.
Still today, I struggle with a lot of depression. And you really can't. The doctors are unable to tell whether it's PTSD related depression or brain injury related depression, because you see all these football players whose experience hits to the head. These wrestlers, if you guys remember Chris Benoit,
yeah, absolutely,
very popular wrestler, ended up doing terrible things to his entire family and then killing himself, committing suicide because of. And when they did the autopsy in his brain was like 80 years old because of his head injuries. So, I mean, I've talked to other people who experienced it, and I'm on a lot of forums and stuff, and we're starting to lean more towards CTE related depression, which for me, like, you guys see me on stream, I'm a happy guy. I'm having fun. Sure. I love to have fun.
Of course.
Maybe too much fun.
LOL, Kappa.
Yeah, Kappa. Oh man, I love to have fun, but some days you're just like, you feel sick. You feel like your brain does not. You feel like your brain does not function how you want it. Like you feel this, like when you have a flu, but like inside your brain, it's this indescribable feeling. It's really hard to touch on, but you feel like your thoughts are like, you can't control them. You feel like your emotions are, you feel the concoction brewing of like every feeling, and you don't know what the hell's going on, and your brain's doing its own thing. And to me, that's, I'm getting used to it, but it's kind of a super scary thing, because you get down and dark, and I start feeling down and alone. And some days, you know, there's no reason for it, because there's people here, there's friends, I have family that loves me, and I know this, but on these days, it's like none of that matters. You know, it's like an overpowering darkness.
Yeah. And that's a bind that people get themselves in all the time, where logically they're okay. Logically, this is stupid. I shouldn't be feeling this. I'm okay. I have friends. I have fun. I still laugh and enjoy life. Trying to mix logic with emotion it can be beneficial to know that, you know, there are people there who care for you. It can be beneficial, but oftentimes it puts people in a bind where they're like, why do I know I'm okay, but I don't feel like I'm okay? And it really can mess with your head. And, you know, for me, if I had any advice to give to anybody who feels that way, feel the emotions, man. If it's a dark day, those people that are there to support you will be there to support you if you are going through a dark, depressive day, even though logically you know that you're fine. I would just encourage people to feel the emotions and not try to bat them away with logic. It's just often those two don't really mix together. And I say, and I know this from my own experiences, if I allow myself to feel the emotions, they don't last nearly as long as if I try to combat them with logic. That's what I would say.
Yeah, we go through that a lot in therapy. I'm in therapy probably. I mean, a lot of people, I would say, don't be afraid of therapy for anything going on in your life. You know, stuff your parents raised you this way, or your parents did this, or your uncle died, or your close friend died. For people having problems, therapy is a wonderful tool. I never believed in mental illness. I was ignorant, and now it's happening to me. So guys, if you have problems and you feel like you can't work over them in your head, even a counselor like Nate, say you don't want to go the full step of a therapist, go to a counselor like Nate, someone who's trained to talk to you, or even talk to your friends, because you will not believe how much better you feel after just talking to someone. Like I talk to my family all the time, and we all cry together. You know, my dad looks like Tony Soprano, big old Sicilian guy, and you know what? We cry together sometimes.
The word I use for that is connection, and we talk about it a lot on this channel. And just like Darkwall said, it's a million times harder to struggle alone than to struggle together. And exactly what you're talking about, Final Bear, is that exactly where if you're alone, you're just stuck in your own head, and you're stuck with your own thoughts. Together, you actually have the opportunity to be supported and hear contradictory messages that mental health freaking it's a liar. Depression lies to you all the time and makes you feel like you're alone, that no one cares about you, that no one wants to hear your story or help support you through a difficult time. That's the messages that depression wants to implant in your brain. And when we are around other people who are actively supporting us, those two messages start to contradict, and hopefully the support from your friends and family starts to take over, and not the lies that depression tries to make you believe.
I 100% agree with that, brother. So if you want to get into the deep stuff, here we go. So how I came into this community, you know, I'm no longer with the team, but that's a different story. I don't know if he's here, guys, but I was in probably the worst spot I've ever been in probably my entire time here. The physical pain was astronomical, to the point where I couldn't move, couldn't work anymore. The emotional pain was, I was struggling so hard to just get to the next day. I was living in a 100 square foot room the military put me in, with white brick walls, looked like a mental home. Just bad physical health, bad environment, bad mental health, and you know, and I started pissing my wife off because she's not with me. She doesn't know what's going on. You know, you can only explain so much over the phone, and that's adding to the anxiety of the situation. And you know, and I honestly contemplated just fucking, excuse my language, just committing suicide. That's became a real thought to me, because the pain of everything was overwhelming, to say the least. And thankfully, I don't think he's here because I talked to him, but Vulcan LG, guys. One sec.
You're good, bro.
Vulcan LG invited me to this community. He invited me to this community, and whether all of you know it or not, you guys replaced the social aspect that I didn't have anymore, and it truly saved my life. This joining Team Sarge. And you wouldn't be able to tell. You look at people every day, guys. You look at people every day. I guarantee you, 100% of you had no idea this goes on inside me. Still goes on inside me. Because you can't tell from my stream. My stream is my escape. It's my interaction with people because I can't go outside anymore the same way. Normal people, if you meet me on the street and we have a conversation, we're not going to be able to connect because my brain is now worried about what vehicle is going to hit me. I'm looking around. Is the wall going to collapse? If the ceiling collapses, what can I do to save my life, to save whoever I'm with's life? I'm walking down the sidewalk. Let me put my wife on the inside of the sidewalk so I don't. Let me put her on the inside of the sidewalk so she doesn't get hit by a car. Because not being able to trust anything in the world, your brain is on high alert. It's stuck into kill mode. I was at Pandora. Not Pandora. That's a music station. Hello.
It's very Panera. Good. I really liked Pandora.
Yeah. No, actually, they just logged me out of my account, and I don't remember my password, so I'm kind of mad.
That's what feels bad.
I was at Panera Bread about a month ago, and some guy walked up behind me. Too fast. I was waiting at the order line. I ordered mobilely, and I almost stabbed the guy with a plastic knife. I almost killed someone. I almost put a knife through another man's throat because of the speed he was walking behind me when I couldn't see him, but I just caught a glimpse of him. And guys, that's. You see war veterans. You see even people who have been in car accidents. You see people with PTSD. That's the kind of stuff they're going through. I wake up at night. I take sleeping pills and 2 blood pressure medications to try and calm me down. And in my sleep, I wake up sometime at night, and I don't know what I'm doing. My body goes back to being trapped. It goes back to fighting for survival. I've woken up choking my wife sometimes in the middle of my sleep, and she's woke me up, and I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And scary, man. Like, I don't want to hurt my wife. I don't want to hurt anyone else. I don't want to hurt myself. 2 days after my arm surgery, I'm back at my home in Iowa. My wife wakes me up in the middle of the night, says I'm punching the wall with my surgically repaired shoulder that I literally can't move, still in like a wrap. She said I was full-blown Mike Tysoning the wall with my arm for like 2 minutes straight. That's scary, man. And people with PTSD are going through this. And, I had some trolls come in my stream and they're like, oh, PTSD is not real. Like, it's definitely a real thing.
It's real.
Take it from someone who didn't believe it.
Yeah.
I didn't believe in mental illness at all.
And I hate that this is how you had to find out about it, man. Like, whoever's coming into your stream and saying that. Just if I could punch them, I would. Like, no holds back. I would just lay into them and I hope they understand. I don't know. So yeah, that's exactly right, Final Bear. It's not a joke. It's absolutely debilitating. So my question would be, you've mentioned therapy before. How's that going? Do you think it's helping? Is it making a difference at all for you? At all?
Yeah, I feel like therapy is allowing me to become stable, and from stable, I guess we can only go forward, right? Once you're not going downhill anymore, then the only way to go is up, right? So that's our goal, and hopefully we can get there sooner rather than later.
Sure. I know a big topic of overcoming. The topic of tonight is overcoming hardships, trials, very, very difficult times in life. And I think personally, one of those things to help us get through it is motivation. So Darkwall, what is, you mentioned how you came close to suicide, just ending it. The pain was stacking up. So what would you say your motivation would be to keep battling this fight? What would you say?
I would say look to what made you happy before whatever is causing your grief, before your pain. Look to the things that make you happy. And look to all the good times you've had in life. And think about how many more good times you still have left. Whether your girlfriend broke up with you. I was going to be married before I met my wife, and she left. She left in the middle of wedding planning, changed her phone number, and never talked to me again. Disappeared.
Bob Saget, bro.
But you know what? I was depressed after that. I was sad. You know what? She did me a favor. One, I never have to pay child support because good thing she did it before we got married. And two, I met someone better for me and someone I'm better for. But if I would have listened to myself in that dark moment of my current feelings, I would never have the happy moments I have now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's, to me, what comes to my brain, a phrase is like, don't self-sabotage yourself into a negative life. Because that would be so easy to do, just the act of giving up completely, looking at the future as if it can never get any better and just losing hope. If you do that, you have really no chance to have a good life or to have hope come into your your life. So that, to me, fighting against that urge, Final Bear, to know that, hey, life can get better and there are things worth being happy about, is a skill and a that we all of us need to get better at doing, man. So that's excellent. Thanks for bringing that up. That's a great topic.
So moving forward, therapy, getting surgeries. You guys know I had my one arm redone. I have my other arm redone. There's really nothing you can do about brain damage that's permanent, but reaching out to doctors that, because I've lost some of my cognitive function, my spelling, my writing have, I'm missing part of my spelling and my writing that from a specific period in my life, about second to fourth grade, words and phrases you would write and stuff with T's, I've lost the ability to write and read sometimes, even speak. I'll pause on stream sometimes. The brain don't fire correctly, so we're going to continue therapy. And hopefully that improves. We for the night terrors and the sleeping, I'm in the process of applying for getting approved for a service dog. So we get a German Shepherd or a Lab or something that is trained to wake me up in the middle of the night.
Okay.
But they have to specifically raise it for that purpose. So
right.
We've been raising money for that on stream for me. And the legs will never be the same. I'll get up sometimes. I'll fall, or I'll be standing, and then I'll just my legs will start giving out, and my wife will catch me, or I'll have to catch myself on something. But you know what? It's made me appreciate life in a way I never did before. Made me appreciate life the way I've never done before. And I would say before I maybe took it for granted. I took my wife for granted. I took my parents. And maybe people took me for granted. My relationship with all of my family members improved drastically after the accident, because that moment of not knowing whether your brother, your sister, your cousin, your uncle, in this case it was me, not knowing if I was alive, triggered something in these people's brains, in my family members' brains, that said, wow, we really should have lost him. He should be dead. And that time of not knowing whether I was alive or dead made them maybe think back on how they've treated me before in life. And so my family has been the most loving I think they've ever been in my life. And I would say just look around at the people around you guys. Look at that guy who comes in your stream. Look at that person at work who just says hi to you, and you're like, why the fuck is that person saying hi to me? Screw him. Be nice to people, man, because you never know. Tomorrow,
right.
Your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your dog, your cat, your best friend, your kids, they could not be there tomorrow.
Right.
So be nice every day, because you don't want to be in that place where you're like, my last word to that person was mean.
Right.
Because you will live with that the rest of your life, guys. So be nice to people, and you never know what they're going through, is what I'd say. You never know what people are going through. You guys did not, most of you, 99% of you did not know this was going on with me. And there's other people at your work, at your school, walking down the street that are going through the same thing, guys.
And that's just the ability to walk into someone else's shoes, right? To like, hey, that's really hard to do that, and it takes a lot of mental strength to not just be like, I hate everyone, people suck. And especially, man, as a streamer, you said it was your outlet, your escape, as you called it. And of course, as you know, the trolls are a part of it. People come in your stream and you're like, man, that's why'd they have to be like that, right? So, what you're talking about is, if everyone was able to do that, man, imagine how great this world would be if we took a second and just know that, hey, this is an actual human being that I'm talking to. Imagine being able to walk in their shoes, learn a little bit more about their life, and instead of being mean to people, the connections and the friendships that can be made if we take a second and remember that we're dealing with human people, human emotions, real life stuff, guys, real life stuff. Another question that I had for you, Final Bear, is, going forward, what would you like your future to look like, bro? Like, I know right now it's a struggle, and but I believe you're doing amazing work with therapy, and your streams are lit, bro. I really enjoy your energy in your streams. So, looking towards the future, what would you want it to look like? What are you working towards?
So right now, I am lucky enough to still be getting paid as I transition to medically retired. I'm hoping that I get full disability, which will be at least enough to like pay my mortgage and eat every month. I'm streaming because it allows me to work my own schedule. So with my sleeping disorders and stuff, people who visit my stream regularly know, like, some days I might not get on till like 2 in the afternoon or 3, and some days I'll be up at like 6 drinking coffee and playing on stream.
Right.
I want to stream because it allows me that flexibility that if I need to go to the VA, if I need to go have surgery, I can do that and still provide for my wife. Don't have any kids yet. We'll see about that. And it really provides me that outlet of social that I enjoy.
Sure.
I've always loved playing video games. I love talking, and people always tell me I should be on TV, or I should be in comedy, or I should. I always wanted to act too. I lived in California for a while. I wanted to take acting classes. I didn't have the resources. I joined the Navy, and so I think it provides me an outlet for things I've always wanted to do. And if I make $1, I make $1. On top of that, I'm going to school right now. I'm lucky enough the Navy's paying for my school. I'm trying to get my degree in finance and investing, and
cool.
I get my license, and I want to help people plan financially, because I feel like a lot of it's not taught in American schools how to be fiscally responsible, and there's millions of Americans out there being financially taken advantage of just because of their lack of knowledge. So I really want to help the average everyday person get their finances in order and break out of that cycle of poverty that I grew up in.
And dude, you're so right about the financial stuff, man. It's really not a topic that is taught. And I know I could have benefited a lot from it, man. But how much longer you got in school?
Just about halfway done, because I get a lot of credits for being in the military. So.
And I man. Final Bear, there's so much, and I don't know if you can see, my chat, or if you're on
I got you open.
Okay. But for real, the support for not only your service, right, to our country, but also your mindset and motivation that, at least for me, that you're brought to Twitch.tv tonight is exactly what I thought would happen, where people absolutely care a butt ton about you, Final Bear, and I just want you to know, from my community and everybody, Team Sarge or not, man, you're never gonna stop being supported. I will always be there in your streams, dude, and it really has been a super honor and a privilege to hear your story. And your strength, this stream will not be forgotten, and your inspiration is huge, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you for having me. Thanks all of you guys for supporting everyone you support on Twitch. Each viewer means a lot to me. I don't know, it does to Nate, and keep being great individuals.
And Final Bear, is there any closing things that you wanted to say that didn't, or a topic that I missed that you wanted to cover? Any final things that I may have missed?
I would just say, guys, appreciate your loved ones. Appreciate your loved ones, because without my wife, guys, without Vulcan, who didn't know me, who didn't even know what was going on in my life, to do something out of his heart that ended up saving my life. You know, just appreciate people, be good people, because there's enough bad people in the world. It's easy to be bad. It's easy to be a scumbag. Believe me, we train to kill them.
Right.
It's easy to be bad, guys. It takes a better person, more hardworking person to be good. And you'll get more satisfaction out of it, I promise.
Absolutely. Final Bear, you are a hero, a literal hero among men, and the privilege was all mine having you on the show. I hope that your streams are great. I know, we talked about it before. I just wish nothing but the best for you, man. You deserve all the support and all the encouragement for who you are, dude. Keep being you.
Thanks, brother.
I'll talk to you soon, man.
Yep.
Man. What a story. What a story. That literally is some of the most impressive, and I don't even know how to describe that. Brave, courageous, intense, and all that he went through, and all the challenges, the struggles, and now that he's on the other side of that, and he did survive, and he's in therapy, feeling better, sharing his story with all of us. It's just what a guy, man! Absolutely, what a wonderful human being he is, and his story. I hope you guys took a lot out of that. I know I did for sure. Wow, a privilege to have on the Here For You show, man. Crazy story. What a beautiful individual. Absolutely. Good advice. Hope you guys take what he said to heart and actively apply it, to your guys' life. The messages and the lessons that he shared with us. Don't let that fall on empty ears, guys. Take what he said, apply it to your life. He talked about so many good things. Appreciate your loved ones. Be nice to people in life, because you don't know their story. You don't know what they're going through, right? People are people. We all need help. We all need support. And so honestly, guys, for real, take what he said to heart, because you're not gonna get advice better than that, guys. You're not gonna get advice better than that. But yeah, go follow him. Absolutely. Please go give him support, right? Every support you can give him. Shower him with love. Shower him with support. Just, it's awesome, Final Bear. You are literally awesome.